Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
So 2 weeks ago, I went with my mom, my sister, and my sister's girlfriend to go see Beauty and the Beast on the big screen as a part of the 100th anniversary series of re-releases Disney's been doing. We had to. Beauty and the Beast is my mom's favorite movie. And after the movie, my mom and I walked around the area in front of the movie theater for a little while, which, if you're unfamiliar with Disney Springs, has a handful of shops. Salt and Straw and Candy Cauldron, which are perfect for anyone with a sweet tooth, and stores like Disney Style, a Star Wars shop, and a Marvel shop. We went in to look at the Marvel shop, and of course, I was extremely disappointed to find absolutely no trace of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur merchandise. Yeah, so we don't have any merchandise for Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, but we do have merchandise that is ostensibly promoting a movie that is made by Sony Animation. You know, forget having merch for a Disney television animation show, because, you know, why would we want to show that show exists in our Marvel store at Walt Disney World? I expressed this frustration to my mom, and another family heard me and asked, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? What is that? I, of course, explained the basic premise of the show to them and encouraged them to go watch it. If you haven't seen Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur yet, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a beautifully animated show with great action sequences, a wonderful, diverse cast of characters, fantastic music. That reminds me of something else.
Can't stop me now. Travel 200 miles, I'm knocking at your door. And I don't really care if you ain't sober. Don't be a stranger.
I have seen so many people on social media say things like, man, they should really make an animated TV show like Spider-Verse. That exists! And it feels like nobody's talking about it. So, what happened here? Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur being overlooked by so many people is especially ridiculous given the talent and branding behind it. I can't say that Disney didn't do any marketing because they actually did more than they've done for most of their other shows. Likely because they had a boost, since it's a Marvel show. They had ads inside of the buses at Disney World like they've done for other shows. They had digital billboards and a Moon Girl meet and greet at Disneyland for a while. And yet, it's actually been coming in on the lower end of the Disney Plus rankings for animated shows in that category. Which still isn't terrible, but this is a Marvel show we're talking about. I think a lot of the problem is that any marketing has to work concisely with your release schedule. One of the biggest issues is that right now, they basically refuse to pick a lane when it comes to airing shows. Disney Channel as a whole is in a weird spot because their premieres are getting split between Disney Channel and Disney Plus. Not just for animated shows either, there's also DCOMs that have had this weird hybrid release strategy. Now, with Moon Girl, the only episodes that aired on Disney Channel first were the pilot episode and Today I Am a Woman. Actually, while I was editing this, I remembered that Goodnight Moon Girl was supposed to air before the second Disney Plus drop, but then it got switched with Moon Girl's Day Off. The rest of them all got dropped on Disney Plus in batches, and aside from the first drop when the show came out, there was little fanfare, so most people didn't even know there were new episodes. And while it wasn't quite as bad as the first season of Amphibia getting completely breezed through, it was still just over so fast. Part of that is just because it had a shorter first season due to things getting shifted around, but still, they absolutely blasted through that first season. The show premiered on February 10th, and the last episodes of the season debuted on Disney Plus on April 12th. That's just a little over 2 months for an entire first season of a TV show, which isn't a lot of time to build up a fan base. As much as fans will complain about having breaks between episodes, these are actually pretty important because people will naturally talk about your show more if you give them more time between the first episode of the season and the last one. It also allows your current fans of a show to be able to tell their friends to get caught up without too much pressure. I think word of mouth is actually stronger than any kind of professional marketing. When you have a passionate fan base, they'll spread the word for you. I'm not getting paid to tell you to go watch Molly McGee and Moon Girl, I'm just doing it because they're great shows and I want them to succeed. Of course, the opposite problem can also happen where you make people wait way too long between episodes or seasons. There's a happy medium is what I'm trying to say. Nothing they're doing now is as bad as how they scheduled Milo Murphy's Law back in the day, but it still feels like they're throwing release strategies at the wall to see what sticks. Season 1 of The Ghost and Molly McGee had its first 5 episodes released on Disney Plus shortly after the show debuted, and Disney Channel aired the episodes on a weekly basis until they were caught up. Once Disney Channel was caught up, episodes continued to come out weekly and were added to Disney Plus in batches shortly after the last one in a batch had aired. which seems like a good strategy where people who don't have cable don't have to wait too long to see new episodes. Then season 2 rolls around, and while I think we've been getting episodes at a really good pace, just like with season 1, where we go about 6 weeks on, a month off, the release strategy is just all over the place. The first episode of the season premieres on Disney Channel, followed by the first 5 on Disney Plus the next day, just like with season 1. Then we get 3 episodes on Disney Channel first, once Disney Channel's caught up. Then, the next 2 debut with that batch on Disney Plus. Then we go back to weekly releases for a bit. Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Why can't we just market the show on Disney Channel and to Disney Plus viewers? And have episodes come out weekly on all platforms on Saturdays. Then you don't have to worry as much about fluctuating ratings on the network side because your fans will just watch the show consistently on whatever platform works best for them. I can never watch when new episodes debut on Disney Channel because I'm usually at work at 9 AM on a Saturday, but I'll wake up early to watch the new episodes on Disney Plus. And the other important factor to this is the virtual water cooler effect. Everyone being able to be caught up on the show with relative ease means that more people talk about your show. And the more people talk about your show, the faster the word spreads, and so on. And for God's sake, release it at the same time internationally too. I see no good reason why fans in Canada and the UK should have to wait longer to be able to watch the show legally. This nonsense can only hurt the show. I don't know what the reason is, but figure it out! Now, let's talk merchandise. I remember back when Phineas and Ferb was airing, there was tons of merchandise. Clothes, toys, Kraft mac and cheese, fruit snacks, you name it.
So I messaged my friend Carly a couple days ago to see if she could dig out a bunch of her Phineas and Ferb merchandise and send me footage of it, and I'm chomping at the bit to get this video out, so she hasn't done that yet. If she does this by the time the video goes up, I will try to figure out how to splice it in somehow. If not, I'll just post it somewhere else and link it in the description. But she has way more stuff than I was ever able to get. But I have one of the rarest items, which is this Isabella plush. They did not make very many of these, so I'm one of like a handful of people that has those, including Carly, who has like, I think she has like 3 of them somehow. Oh, and this is a Pez dispenser of Perry that I got signed by Swampy when I met him in 2019.
I also remember staying at the Nickelodeon Hotel back in 2008 and wanting the Phineas and Ferb toys at Subway, which I found deeply ironic.
Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today. You know what else we should do today?
Tomatoes, cucumbers, and lots of green pepper.
Are you even old enough to be creating your own sandwich?
This is a really lame commercial, but I do like the touch that they made this kind of look like Phineas, Candace, and Linda here. Although I don't think Candace would ever hassle Phineas over what he was putting on a sandwich. And also, if they wanted to be really authentic, they would have grilled cheese for Candace, because Candace's favorite sandwich is grilled cheese. Nowadays, you're lucky to get a Funko Pop and maybe a book or 2 after the show ends. What gives? Why is it easier for me to buy official merchandise of my favorite YouTuber than it is for me to buy official merchandise for my favorite TV show made by a massive media conglomerate? Wasn't Disney supposed to be the best in the world at this? I think the unfortunate reality is that these days, something has to be a mega hit or based on an existing franchise for anyone to care about giving it good merchandise. They're even fine just letting the fans pick up the slack for their smaller franchises. Disney's literally fine just throwing this money away. They make so much money that it doesn't matter to them. Not only is all of this super frustrating, but I don't think it's sustainable in the long run. We're already seeing the effects of people getting burnt out on Marvel and Star Wars, which is especially not a good thing when they're spending $15 million per episode on shows like The Mandalorian, which is probably why they're very excited to bring Phineas and Ferb back, because that will definitely get a lot of views and will not cost them nearly as much to make. Yes, I started this video telling people to go watch a Marvel show, but Moon Girl is different, and I'll explain why more in a future video. There's just so much content now, and the nostalgic reboots have been making them a lot of money, but they're burning through their whole library of classics to remake at this point. They're gonna be left scraping the bottom of the barrel remaking stuff like The Black Cauldron, which I actually think would be pretty great, but that's a story for another day.
Master!
What is it, Gurgi?
Does anyone want any more matches of me?
Every day you ask that question, Gurgi, and every day the answer is no. You're free. Go jam with the Country Bears or something.
Or I guess they could make an unnecessary sequel to one of their live-action reimaginings, and they did that.
Aurora, don't use the spinning...
Or an unnecessary prequel to a live action, and they're doing that too. Okay. Nostalgia is a huge part of Disney's winning formula, so it's not surprising that we're seeing live-action remakes and shows based on existing IP. But people don't just want to watch the same stuff all over again.
What is the human obsession with remakes?
They want to watch new things too. Look at how much better Elemental did than Lightyear. But you've got to make it easier for them to find this stuff. So Disney, I implore you, give your shows a consistent release schedule. Market them enough that people are actually aware of them existing, and, I don't know, maybe throw your fans a bone and make some official merch available? And to the fans, keep spreading the word, and keep supporting fan-made merch. And search up your favorite show every now and then on Amazon or something, I don't know.
This lab is gonna make a great playset.
Playset? Girl, have you lost your mind?
I've been told I can be a bit much, but honestly, I don't see it.